Right, let's talk about fast jets. Not just any fast jets, but the absolute top-tier stuff that nations bet their security on. For years, the story was simple. If you wanted the best, the most advanced, the undisputed king of the skies, you bought the American F-35 Lightning II. It's the future, they said. Stealthy, clever, a flying computer that sees everything. It was the only game in town for any country wanting to stay ahead. And loads of nations, from the UK to Japan, lined up, checkbooks in hand, ready to join the most exclusive club in military aviation. It seemed like the debate was well and truly over. But hold on a minute, just when you thought the race was won, a plucky underdog from Sweden has roared back onto the scene, causing a proper stir. I'm talking about the Saab Gripen E. Suddenly, some countries are tapping the brakes on their F-35 plans. Take Canada, for instance. They were all set, having already signed contracts for a handful of F-35s and started building the fancy new hangars for them. Then, in early 2025, their Prime Minister, Mark Carney, stood up and suggested they should buy the Swedish jet instead. It's like ordering a Bugatti and then suddenly wondering if you should have gone for a Koenigsegg. It's a massive headline-grabbing change of heart that has everyone in the industry talking. So what's causing this grand wobble? It's not just Canada. Other nations like Portugal are also giving the F-35 a second look. A big part of it seems to be a shift in global politics. As of March 2025, some new foreign policy decisions coming out of the United States have made a few allies a bit nervous about putting all their eggs in one American-made basket. They're starting to think about what happens if access to spare parts, software updates, or weapons suddenly becomes complicated. The Gripen, being Swedish, offers a bit of a safety net, a way to avoid being completely dependent on another country's political mood swings for your national defense. It's a spanner in the works, and a very interesting one at that. This isn't just about politics, though. The Gripen isn't simply the cheaper, non-American option. Saab has been beavering away, packing its latest Gripen E model with some seriously clever technology. They're making bold claims that their jet can do things that directly challenge the F-35's biggest party trick: its stealth. The argument is no longer just about which plane is faster or can carry more bombs. It's about which one is smarter. This has turned the whole contest on its head, transforming it from a done deal into a proper, old-fashioned showdown between two completely different philosophies of air combat. The stage is set for a fascinating battle. Now, you might be thinking, how can a non-stealthy jet possibly take on a stealthy one? It sounds like bringing a knife to a gunfight. But Saab's engineers have been incredibly clever. The Gripen E's secret weapon isn't about being invisible to radar, it's about being brilliant at. It's equipped with some of the most advanced sensor systems and electronic warfare gear ever put on a fighter. Think of it less as a ghost and more as a ghost hunter. One Saab expert even cheekily said that with the Gripen systems, that stealthy target is not so stealthy anymore. And once it's found, it's in a world of trouble. That's a bold claim, and it's making a lot of people sit up and pay attention. The magic behind this is something called sensor fusion, and the Swedes have been masters of it for decades, starting way back with their Draken jets in the 1980s. In the Gripen E, this system is almost completely automated. The jet has multiple sensors, a powerful radar, an infrared search and track system, and a suite of electronic detectors all working together. The plane's brain, powered by artificial intelligence, automatically combines all the information from these different sources into one simple, clear picture for the pilot. This means the pilot isn't fiddling with knobs and screens. They're focused on the mission, letting the jet do the heavy lifting of finding the enemy. This high level of automation is a game changer. It dramatically reduces the pilot's workload, which is a massive advantage in the chaos of a dogfight. While an F-35 pilot is managing their incredible but complex systems, the Gripen pilot can in theory react faster and make decisions more quickly because the jet's AI is already helping them sort out what's a threat and what isn't. It's a different way of achieving battlefield dominance. Instead of hiding with stealth, the Gripen aims to outthink and outsee its opponents, using its electronic cleverness to pierce the F-35's cloak of invisibility and gain the upper hand. Another huge draw for the Gripen E is what you might call technological sovereignty. When a country buys an F-35, they buy into a system heavily controlled by the United States. The software, the upgrades, the core secrets, it all runs through Lockheed Martin and the Pentagon. With the Gripen, Saab gives countries much more control. They can tweak the software and integrate their own weapons and systems more easily. For a nation that wants to be the master of its own destiny, this is a massive selling point. It's the difference between owning your car outright and having it on a lease where the manufacturer still holds all the keys. All right, so the Gripen is clever and independent, brilliant, but let's not write off the F-35 just yet. There's a very good reason it's considered the benchmark for modern air power. First and foremost, the F-35 is a true fifth-generation fighter. That's not just a marketing slogan, it means stealth is baked into its very DNA. The shape of the airframe, the materials it's made from, the coatings on its skin, it was all designed from the ground up to be incredibly difficult to detect. The Gripen, for all its electronic wizardry, is a fourth-generation design. You can hang all the fancy pods you want on it, but you can't retrofit that fundamental built-in stealth. And in a fight against a top-level enemy, that can be the difference between life and death. Then there's the small matter of teamwork. For countries in alliances like NATO and NORAD like Canada, flying the same jet as your mates is a huge deal. The F-35 is the standard. The Dutch fly it, the Norwegians fly it, the Brits fly it, and most importantly, the Americans fly it. This means they all share the same training, the same tactics, and the same supply chains. Their jets can talk to each other seamlessly on a secure network, sharing data in real time to build a complete picture of the battlefield. If Canada were to choose the Gripen, they'd be the odd one out at the party, creating a whole separate and expensive system for training and maintenance, complicating joint operations. The argument that the Gripen offers independence from the US also has a few holes in it. Let's look under the bonnet, shall we? The Gripen's brilliant engine is a General Electric F-414, which is, you guessed it, American. Many of the weapons it carries are American. A lot of the key components inside are American. The United States government still has the final say on whether those parts can be exported or sold. So while you might have more control over the software, you're still very much tethered to Uncle Sam for the hardware. It's not quite the clean break that some might imagine it to be. And finally, there's the issue of credibility. For a country like Canada, buying the F-35 isn't just about getting a new plane, it's a statement. Canadian Defence Minister Bill Blair said the purchase is about rebuilding Canada's credibility with its allies. Backing out now, after years of commitment and starting construction, would send a strange message. It would look indecisive and could suggest a country that isn't serious about its role in major alliances like NATO. Sticking with the F-35 is seen as the safe, reliable choice that keeps Canada firmly in the top league of Western air forces, ready to face future threats alongside its closest partners. So, where does this leave us? The showdown between the Gripen and the F-35 really boils down to a classic dilemma. Do you go for the bespoke, cost-effective option or the top-of-the-line, all-singing, all-dancing model that everyone else has? The Gripen's biggest trump card has always been its price tag. It is significantly cheaper to buy and, crucially, much cheaper to fly and maintain per hour than the F-35. For countries with tighter budgets, the ability to afford more jets and fly them more often is a very tempting proposition. It's the sensible shoes of the fighter world, practical, reliable, and it won't bankrupt you. The F-35, on the other hand, is the opposite. It's eye-wateringly expensive to buy and operate, but what you get for that money is unparalleled capability. Its stealth and sensor fusion are designed to dominate the most dangerous airspace in the world, a place where a fourth-generation jet might not survive the first few minutes of a conflict. For nations that see themselves potentially facing off against adversaries with sophisticated air defenses, the F-35's price is seen as a necessary investment in survival and victory. It's a premium product with a premium price designed for the most demanding jobs on the planet. For a nation like Canada, the choice is especially tricky. Switching to the Gripen now would be a logistical nightmare. It would mean scrapping existing contracts, causing massive delays and likely costing a fortune in penalties and restarting the procurement process. It could also mean operating a mixed fleet for a time, which is an operational headache requiring two separate sets of spare parts, maintenance crews and training programs. The simple path is to stick with the F-35, a decision that has already been made and is well underway. The path of the Gripen is full of political and logistical hurdles, however appealing its technology and cost might be. So, what happens next? The F-35 will almost certainly remain the dominant fighter for major NATO powers. Its deep integration and fifth-generation features are just too critical to ignore. However, the Gripen E has successfully carved out a powerful niche for itself. It presents a compelling alternative for nations that prioritize operational cost, technological independence, and a clever asymmetric approach to air combat. The current debates in countries like Canada show that the fighter jet market is no longer a one-horse race. The future of the skies will likely be a mix of these two brilliant but very different machines, each playing to its own unique strengths.